Okay, go ahead.
Hotline. Welcome to the Herald Washington Post 1987 Hotline TV show. And now I'm going to turn over to that fantastic commander. Bam, bam.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Herald Washington American Legion Post 1987 Hotline. And yes, I have to say this again. Yes, we have a guest. My sister, Clara Hubbard, the Honorable. I had to put that in there, a radio personality and aficionado.
Yeah,
We'll take it.
Yeah, got to give her news.
Oh, yeah.
Besides, this is it's still Women Month and Women Year.
This is the year of the woman.
Yes.
And this is National Older Americans Month, that I do know. Yes.
Okay. And that's why she here, because see, she deserves some of this year. Because I thought I'd be busy, but see, sometimes I got to look around and see who I'm trailing.
I love it.
My sister, she stayed busy. She's been a little ill, but they can't, as I was taught, you cannot keep a good person down too long.
That's right.
Thank the Lord that she's with us today, and we're going to send it to her.
Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here with you gentlemen. And as your show is entitled, Serving Our Veterans, we are very well coming up on Veterans or Memorial Day, which is a very important holiday. I'm sure, Commander, you'll have some upcoming events to share. Let me just bring it to clear. I was not so much ill. What I had to do was reset myself because I was so busy that I didn't take time for myself. So I'm learning now that self-care is not being selfish. So that's what that was about. And I'm glad that I'm doing much better.
So am I.
Yes, thank you very much. Since our time last, and I reviewed, I think I was back here in October of last year, a lot of great things have been upon us. And a lot of great things are ahead. Well, this year, as of May 1st, we celebrated our 8th year of Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard on May 1st.
Congratulations.
And thank you. With that blessing, I had the honor of now starting a new series through my programming called A Legend Speaks. And what that is a legend, I will nominate a legend from the community who's been working in philanthropy or something that has been on advocacy to better our community. And of course, none other than the lady herself, Chicago's very own
Sister
Mary D. was our host, and she was the honoree. The Legend Speak series is a small, intimate group because she wants to become personal. He or she in the future will become personable. So we had around 15 people there, and she was able to just dialogue and talk, and it was a great, great network of people. So we'll be launching it again in June. We're looking for our legend now. We want to focus on Black Music Month, so we'll find someone who's a legend in music here in our city to bring to a platform and have a great conversation with. So that was just one thing. But I got a whole sheet more for us to talk about.
Well, tell us about it. Before that, I'm sorry, that one of the legends from Chicago, which Harvey also, brother Charles Barksdale of the Dales that just passed. And we want to say to the family, that we're with you and our condolences.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then we also lost a legend through many entrepreneur or new broadcasters. His brother Wayne Fields from WVON, he passed away on Saturday.
That's right.
And it was just,
how old?
He was 57 years old.
What?
Yes.
57
years old, passed of a heart attack.
Wow.
And the city will never be the same, but I did have the pleasure of, when I first started my programming, he was the first voice to welcome me and gave me my tools in being a broadcaster and communicating with people. And he's been on every commercial that you've heard in Chicago, so he will never be forgotten. And we're going to do a special tribute to him coming up in June for one of our events. And I'll tell you more about that.
Okay. And also tell us about your upcoming stuff.
So, if you are ready, let me start. Where do I begin? So here we go. This is National Older Americans Month. Make it look real nice for us here. And so what I do is I make sure that I work with a lot of different events in the city of Chicago and across the country to make sure that they offer our seniors and veterans an opportunity to participate because seniors are jewels in the community. They have been forgotten. And so let me just bring a few things. I'm going to point out this one here. This is the HBCU actual World Series Baseball Championship taking place on May the 24th, this coming Friday. That's going to be at a guaranteed rate field, but as we call it, my dad says still Comiskey Park to him. You know, so a guaranteed rate field. We're going to have an HBCU experience with two great historically black colleges, Southern University, A&M College, and North Carolina A&T. The game and more information you can find out, and we'll give you that details about that.
You can call.
And you can call me.
You or the
Herald Washington Post number, and we'll give you my number as well. And you would want to get that information. We're having a senior walk in the morning, so we're going to walk around somewhere around guaranteed rate so we can get our bodies in motion. And then we're going to have an HBCU experience. So if you are a student, if you're looking for a second chance at a career, we're going to be having a career and admissions fair with a lot of HBCU, historically black colleges representing from Chicago and alumni. And we're inviting everyone to come out, and that's on Friday, May the 24th. All those things are happening just on May 24th only.
Okay. That's a lot of things.
And that's one day. Yeah, that's right.
A lot of good information.
And then now you're saying you got anything besides me for Memorial Day?
Well, I don't have anything for Memorial Day. I'll be on vacation. I'm going to try to have a vacation. How about that?
We're going to try to grab you then.
I won't be in the city, but we'll send prayers and we'll get the communication out. Yes, sir.
Yes, we will.
We'll be glad to do that.
Speaking of Memorial Day, this weekend, from Friday to Sunday, we'll be out in the Brownsville area giving out poppies. Poppies is little flowers that we give out, each year. For all of veterans, whether disabled or not, but mainly homeless and stuff like that. And we're like anybody that sees, just come up and we will give you one. And also that Monday, Memorial Day, we're having a presentation for the late great Honorable Mayor Harold Washington at Oakwood at the cemetery, and. We're having a lot of dignitaries there. There's going to be the Buffalo Soldiers there, the motorcycle riders, and a lot of distinguished guests going to be there. We're going to be at the cemetery, Oakwood Cemetery.
At what time?
From everything starts, the motorcycle ride starts at 10 a.m. 71st and Cottage Grove. We'll ride down to 67th and Cottage, make a right on 67 to come east to 67th and Greenwood to the cemetery gates, and then that's when we'll all hook up together, and then we'll go to Harold Washington's grave, do our little ceremony there, put a wreath there on his grave, and then we'll visit all the soldiers there in the cemetery. Then from there we will all get together and go to the chapel, and we'll have a presentation for everybody there. And that's from 10 o'clock until 1 o'clock. And after the show is over with, for all our guests that's going to be there, well, we have refreshments and food. See, people like to hear that last word. Say, now when is this over with? But after all of this, we will have food. So everybody is welcome. Back to you, sister.
Well, let me say, if you have not attended, and if you remember the late, great Harold Washington, you should be there. And also just in support of these men. I mean, the American Legion Harold Washington Post are very active. They're not just gathering and wearing, medallions and things of that nature. They're very active. And if you are just want to be in support of them, I would encourage you to come. I'm not going to be there this year. We definitely try to send representation. But it's a beautiful ceremony. And to be there is an honor. And I will have you in my prayers. Now,
thank you very much.
Could you talk a little bit about what happened today? Because it was a historical moment today.
Yes, sir.
And when it comes to our veterans, a lot of veterans did get out and vote for this mayor. So talk a little bit about, as you were saying earlier, you were saying some good stuff happened. And everybody's looking for change.
That's
Most
right.
of us are.
Right.
And that's what we need.
Well, earlier today at Wintrust Arena, we had the pleasure of being at the inaugural ceremony of our new mayor, Lori E. Lightfoot, who is the 56th president, first African American woman, and along with Sister Melissa Irvin, who is now the treasurer, and Anna Valencia, who's the clerk. So we got a powerhouse, and 3 women of color now are in the strongest positions in our city, well as in history, as well as our sitting clerk of court, Dorothy Brown, and Tony Preckwinkle. So we got it all
And
done.
the lieutenant governor.
And the lieutenant governor. We were all present, and I was there, of course. Now, but in addition to, but let me say, first of all, to make that momentous moment, everyone stood up, and then for the mayor-elect to say, or our mayor now, to mention her mother, who was 90 years old, and to see her face and said, "I hope I'm still making you proud." That was the intent of what Dad and you worked so hard for us to achieve. But she did take the 4 stars that are on the Chicago flag, and she changed them around. And one of them, I believe, I'm just using from my memory, one was about accountability.
Yes.
And then one also talked about, the first star was for safety.
Yes.
Safety for the community. Then she talked about accountability and how we have to be responsible for where we are. And then she mentioned neighbors, everyone becoming neighborly. Let's try it. Do you know your neighbors? Do you know those around you? We can build better relationships in our community. But what I did take from her message is that we are in a very serious crisis, and that instead of us trying to go to the city hall directly, let's look at our current politicians and look at our city council, those men and women who we've elected in office for aldermen and for our state reps. Bring your concerns to them. And so there has to be accountability there. And that her request is that the previous administration held a certain alderman in their hands, and they walked side by side many days. Well, she wants to see a new face, that everyone can walk together. And so she went in and made the statement that city council will be now responsible for their constituents. She turned around and she clapped. Everyone stood up in a roar, and we all stood up together in agreement with her. And then shortly after, when she left Wintrust, she went to her office on the 5th floor and signed it into action. That the aldermen will now, and the city council will be responsible for the people that they've elected, who've elected them to serve them directly. And I mean, that was life-changing. And so, as we were leaving out, that's what everyone could say. I mean, from all races, the young and the old alike, were saying now there should be some point of accountability. Don't just take my ideas or whole constituent nights and it's just that. You're collecting information and nothing proactive about it. And so I was encouraged about that, and that she mentioned senior safety and the community safety at large. So, and that we all need to work together.
Yes, we do.
I was approached by someone for an interview, and they said, "Well, do you think she could do it in 4 years?" I said, she didn't say she could, but what she did say is, let's work collectively together. Don't leave me as the mayor by myself.
Right.
Everyone is responsible for this city of Chicago. It belongs to all of us. And so when I heard that, I just felt more encouraged. There were business owners. She was speaking a lot to small and small and big business, and said, hey, let's all get together. There should be room for us to still keep our neighborhoods together, bring revenue back to Chicago, and so people won't leave. People leaving homes that they've inherited for years. Whole communities and heritage are leaving Chicago because of taxes and for safety reasons.
It's more so taxes than safety reasons.
Yes.
And we have been talking about that issue for the past 3 or 4 TV shows because we understand the direct correlation between higher taxes in this state and the state of New Jersey. Because New Jersey and Illinois is running just like that. And people in New Jersey are fed up too.
Yes.
They're leaving New Jersey like they're leaving our state. And it was so funny. I was on my way to a meeting and I'm listening to WVON. Bam! number one reason why people are leaving our state: property taxes.
It's serious.
And it's serious. And our city, as the mayor pointed out, is in financial ruins because we won't tax where the money's at. And that's on LaSalle Street. That's where all the money's at. And then them folks on LaSalle Street told JB, if you mess with us, we gonna pack up our bags and leave Chicago.
That's a great
That's a
statement.
threat
Yes.
they gave JB. And my position to them folks on LaSalle Street, you ought to be glad. You ought to want to let us put a 1.5 or 2% tax on you. Because we bailed out Wall Street when Wall Street was about to bring the whole country to ruins.
Wall Street, automotives, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Bankers, you know.
We saved them. We saved them.
But see, although it was the taxpayers.
Yes.
But see, the idea, we still haven't received anything back from
No.
that.
No, we have not.
Nor have we made a stance to make people accountable.
Yes.
We've let it just, we accepted it and went
Yes.
on with it and tried to manage it, but we have not made people accountable. And so that's what I think the mayor is saying, be accountable. If you are taking on something or you're putting something out there. Now, what I will say is, I think one of the key issues in our city right now that is hurting, and what I'm going to work to do is build a stronger relationship with city service.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, the departments across this city, they have a relationship that is very minimal or very disrespectful to the constituents and citizens of the city.
Yeah.
And so we need to, I think that's going to be if someone calls me, they're welcome. I want to build a better relationship, especially because you have in my department or my area of life, you have older Americans who are still homeowners and living longer and want to be a part of the city. And the communication tools are horrible. You're online for 3 and 4 minutes or longer, or don't come back 30 minutes. Some people need services from Department of Aging and they're held or not responding to the return call. Please leave a message. Message never returned.
Do you know about the SSAs?
The special service areas, yes.
53 of them.
Yes.
Active. And I was at a meeting Saturday where a young lady came and gave a report on the SSAs, and she was telling us that the budget for 2020 is going to be $600,000, and the SSA over in the 8th Ward, they're not living up to their potential. But that's your tax dollars in those 53 SSAs. Now, the question that I wanted to raise was, is the budget the same in every SSA? 500-some thousand?
I'm not sure, but it's worth investigating. But I will say this, there are certain communities that you can see that are rising up, that we go through daily, like Inglewood. It's almost a city in itself. And they took the time, and I would say a lot of that is part of the previous plan of the late Joanne Thompson. There were so many things that she had already laid out, Whole Foods and the revitalization of Kennedy King College. She had that in her plan. I've been in meetings where that was publicly set. But that's what I'm saying. If you take the dollars, those dollars may have been used for that. I'm not sure. I can't, solidify that. But they've taken something to bring a revitalization back to Inglewood. Now, I'm from Roseland. I was born in Roseland. We've had an alderman that's been there for more than
Too long.
And we got a Walmart on Doty Road.
Yeah.
But all the other streets along Roseland from 111 to 119 are just, every other building is vacant. That's really sad.
I used to stay in Roseland when I got to service. And in the early 70s to the late 70s, from 109th all the way to 117th Street in Michigan used to be Bloom.
Yes, sir.
Booming,
I'm very clear.
I remember it used to be a show right there on the 114th.
Yep.
I remember that. Now, the only thing that's still there is that steakhouse.
That's it. That's right. The steakhouse is the only thing there.
People got to eat.
Yeah, people got to eat.
Yeah.
And I was told the change, someone else bought it. I heard an African-American woman bought it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the steakhouse. But you're right. I mean, there used to be Gately's, and there was a viable bank. Do we even have any more black banks in Chicago? I mean, let's be clear.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we have accepted,
Yes.
but we're still supposed to be encouraged about being a part of this process. Now, I'm hoping and desiring that I will build a better relationship with the aldermen and the city council. Because I will tell you this, I one time did the footwork. My husband and I, we drove around, and I just wanted to know, you know, just on an odd day between holidays, who's over constituent services? That's all I need. I don't need to meet the alderman. Who's over constituent services? And, oh, we all are. No, you all cannot be. That's not possible. Because when that lady or that man calls me, I need to know who to go to directly, because you're responsible for the constituents.
Yes.
And so they don't have one in place. There's not anyone noted in our automatic offices.
But
That's all we need.
Things have changed
Yes.
so
But
bad.
put it this way, things are changing,
Yes, they
but
are.
slowly.
Yes.
Too slow.
Yes.
Like a turtle.
But see, you know, that's the same way as the election. I want you to vote for me. Give me my veterans, and I do this and I do that for you. You get in. Where are they?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was watching MSNBC before I got here, and I heard something that blew me away. Jeffrey Daniels, who's in a play on Broadway, To Kill a Mockingbird. He lives in Michigan, and he was saying that the play is designed to wake you up, and it's letting folks know, and these are his words. I mean, it mess your mind up to think that this man is saying, if 45 get reelected, he's saying, it's a white man, he's saying, you can kiss democracy goodbye.
Well, it's almost going out the window now. Look at the things that he's trying to incorporate. You know, states right now, it's bad enough. We had a bad enough problem with discrimination and racism. But you see now, it's focusing more. It's opening up, you know. A lot of things, you know, look at the school systems and stuff. Look at the colleges and stuff. Something is wrong somewhere.
And why would we go to war with Iran?
A lot of things. Because one thing you say, they don't want them to be nuclear incapable. Then
Everybody else got nuclear weapons.
yeah, but still and all, you know, you got to look at it from another side. Because see, if you let them get nuclear weapons, then they may be threatening somebody else close to them. But see, it's the idea, you know, just like this gun control. Everybody don't need to be having no gun.
Well, that's true. That's true. You know, when you're having fun, time flies.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We brought it.
And Memorial Day is right around the corner, everybody. And as the commander pointed out, please come out to the Harold Washington Memorial on Memorial Day, because he was a military man like we are.
He was the first sergeant in the Army. He was a congressman. He was a representative. Harold was something else. And like he always said, if you want Harold,
Here's Harold.
Yes.
you got
Now
Harold.
you got him. Now you got him.
Well, heaven got him now.
Yes, but we here still his backbone.
Yes, we are.
Harold lives on. And we want to thank you all very much for tuning in and thanking our sister
Next
Clara.
week, thank you, my sister.
No show next week.
Okay.